Candice Bass-Robinson on the 31st of December. Lovely runners to note. We'll start off with in race 3 with Longshanks. Had the first 4 runs, but blinkers on now.
Yeah, I've got the blinkers on him. He hasn't shown much in his first 4 runs. We've given him a couple of sprints just to try and get him to learn to race properly. He's a horse that is looking for ground. It's a big, heavy, gross horse, so he takes a lot of work at home. Blinkers seem to have helped quite a bit at home, but I think he's going to need to show that improvement on the course, I think, before I can fancy his chances.
Race 4, Cosmos Meralda. You've got Josh up with a nice lightweight.
Another enigma for me. She, I've just tried a couple of distances with her. She obviously being a half sister to Marina, we're going to now try the 2,000 meters. Also quite a gross filly, so she looks like she wants to go less than that. But anyway, we're going to try the 2,000. So a bit of an unknown trip-wise. Obviously running against the Colts as well. She's got quite a low rating, and she probably needs to take on slightly weaker field, I would think, to be competitive. So yeah, more of a look and see for us, just to see where we are and what sort of trip we should be going.
Over to you. Great second last time out over the 2-4.
Yeah, a very nice run from him after a nice break and gelding. He's a horse that stays pretty well. It's a difficult race to really assess. I think there's a couple of horses in there with a bit of form, but he's doing well at home, and hopefully, he's got a big weight to shoulder as a younger horse. So, if he can carry the weight and give away weight in that field, then he could be competitive, yes.
Race 5, Thunder Master looks a nice sort, but he seems better than his comeback runs.
Yeah, look, he's only had the 2 comeback runs, and his second comeback run I had to put him over 1,800, which was not actually the right thing. I would prefer to have had him over shorter his second run back. So he needed that last run. He's actually doing well at home at the moment. His work is good. He looks nice and tight now, so I think he should run a much better race over the mile this time. There are 1 or 2 in there with some form as well. So yeah, I think each way chance.
Race 6, Queen of Sparta. You've got Devon up. She has previously won over the trip.
Yeah, she's been a consistent filly. She just needed her run a little bit last time. I think she'll be fitter this time around, and I think I'm hoping for a better run from her. She is taking on her stable companion Fun Zone, who might, I think, maybe just be a little bit better than what she is. Her form is pretty strong. She's a nice filly, and a filly that's improving all the time, and I think if I had to choose between the 2, I'd probably go with Fun Zone, and I think she should be competitive there. Obviously Sean's got a filly down here who's unbeaten. Not quite sure where she fits in with where mine fits in with a filly like that, but both fillies are fitting well, they'll both run well, and it just depends, as I say, how good 1 or 2 of those others are.
Race 7, Flying First, thankfully drawn right on the inside. Hopefully it's the better going on the day, but 91 days off the track, a bit of a rest.
Yeah, she looks, Vicky, she's new to my yard. She's only just been with me for the last 3 weeks or so I don't know a huge amount about her. I think she had been off with some injuries, so it'll be her. She's having a comeback run now. I think probably looking for a little bit further. I think her best trip would probably be over a bit further, but she's actually quite nice and fresh. Her work has been pretty good at home, and she looks nice and fresh, so she looks to me like she'll be able to do the 1,200, but obviously, as I say, she hasn't been with me long enough to make a proper assessment, but she's doing well. She looks great, and I think if the 12's not too sharp, she's nice and fresh for a comeback run. I think she'll run a nice race.
Nippy Winter, obviously game as ever.
Yeah, she's very game. Shame she was a bit unlucky last time. She couldn't get a run. She was quite tight in the latter stages of the race, so I probably had her at her best last time, or better than I had her, and I think I've probably still got her there. So yeah, a very open race. I don't think it's an easy race. I think it's quite a competitive field, but Aldo's back on her this time, and they seem to get on pretty well, so let's hope that she can be competitive.
Body Electric, you've brought her back to the 1,200.
Yeah, last time you can probably put a line through that run. She raced wide around the turn, and she ended up, it was just, as I say, a run that needs a line through it. So I brought her back to the 12. She's a little bit keen, and she shows a lot of speed at home out of a staying mare, so it's a bit tricky with her as far as distance goes. But I've got her back in the 12 in her own company, so I'm hoping for a better run, but I'd like to just see that she can come back to what she was earlier on first.
Race 8, Charlie Malone, he's in very good form.
Yeah, a very nice run from him, first run out the maidens. I think he's improved as a horse. He's looking pretty well at the moment, and he's doing well at home. So similar sort of field to last time. So hopefully he can go one better, and he certainly will be competitive.
Thank you, Candice.
Pleasure.
There you go, some lovely notes on Candice's runners. So make note and keep an eye on some of them. They're looking for good runs come Saturday.